Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys as we head towards the dead zone. We're going to talk about have the Cowboys done enough this offseason? This is serious. Camo time, baby. You know how we do it up in here. All right, so that's it. All of the offseason work has been put in. Okay, I want to take a quick look at, is this roster playoff worthy? Have they done enough? Okay. We know that we've lost some players, we've gained some players. Are we the same? Are we better? Are we less of a team? But the main thing is, are we playoff ready? Is this roster playoff worthy? And by that is, you have your starters. How's the quality behind your starters? You know what I mean? Is the team too young, or do you have a good mesh of vets and rookies? So let's get right into it. First off, the season ended, in January with a one and done. That wasn't good there. So that was the first thing that this was not good about 2022. But that kicked us off into the offseason. Okay, Cowboys do the same thing every year as far as free agency goes. And every year fans get caught up in all of the shiny new cars that are available in the market. Cowboys, they just don't do it. You know what I mean? Even myself, most years I don't even look at it. But this year I was kind of like, maybe finally they'll get at least one player, a semi splash. You know what I mean? But Cowboys, they do what they do. They sign their own players, and I think for Cowboys fans, it's just something that you're gonna have to get used to, especially as this team becomes more and more of Stephen Jones' ran team. You know what I mean? But talking about the offseason free agency moves, they signed their own players. They franchise tagged Dalton Schultz. They bumbled the Randy Gregory contract, whether that was on purpose or they tried to spin it. And nevertheless, he's no longer here. Okay. They cut loose Lyle Collins, who Cowboys have had issues with him as far as like health, showing up to camp, in shape, some off-field things throughout his career. It was a bumpy career for Lyle Collins here with the Cowboys, to be quite honest, if you look at the whole spectrum of his tenure here in Dallas. So they had enough of it. They cut him loose. And, the revamping of the O-line is the biggest part of the offseason. We let Connor Williams go, so we knew that there were some big pieces here on the left side that the Cowboys needed to consider. We knew Terrence Steele was going to take over right tackle. Cowboys staff loved Terrence Steele, and they liked the progression that they've seen. Okay, so the concentration was going to be the left side of that offensive line. Were they going to have a tackle there in the draft, or was it a guard? Was it smoke and mirrors? Cowboys came out here and came out with Tyler Smith. All right, out of Tulsa. By all indications, you're seeing a lot more what you want to see out of your left guard than what you saw out of Connor Williams' entire tenure here with the Cowboys. So you like to see that. Okay, now they're taking a look at him at the left tackle as well, because there's a feeling here, and we're all used to it, that Tyron Smith is not going to play a whole season. You know what I mean? Would he be a surprise cut at the end of the year, at the end of camp? You know what I mean? There's going to be a surprise somewhere here. Who will it be? All right, but anyway, you have a really good player there on the left side. Okay, so the question now becomes, did you do enough to fill the depth? All right, let's say that let's say that you're going to end up bumping Tyler Smith to left tackle, and because he becomes your best option at left tackle. Do you then look at Connor McGovern at the left guard position? They gave him a good shot last season. We were all looking for it. He didn't show much improvement over Connor Williams, and eventually, Connor Williams was reinserted, at the end of the year, halfway to the end of the year. So let's see what happens there, man. Let's see what happens. I think they're hoping that Waletzko or Ball can show up here, but from what we've heard early on, those guys are still very raw. You know what I mean? So if you're going to look for the left tackle, they probably end up doing that. They probably end up moving Tyler Smith at left tackle until Tyron comes back from his yearly injury or whatever the hell he has going on, right? So, are you better there? You know, this sounds a little bit like last season, you know, musical chairs on the offensive line. So, while I like that we got better at left guard, you know, if you move him to left tackle, that left guard position is still a disaster. Okay. The center position, I think all indications are that this is Tyler Biadish's, you know, position to lose. The Cowboys like him. You know, he's put in a lot of work here. It's going to take a lot for him to lose that spot, to be real. You know, I like what Matt Farniak did at the end of the year, but does he have enough to overtake that position? You know what I mean? So we'll see there. We'll see there. So the offensive line, I think, is a little better, but it all depends on the health on Tyron Smith, and that's what really keeps holding this team back is that question mark. You know, oh, when he's when he's on the field, you know, but when he's on the field, he's no longer dominating people. He's not. I mean, look at that San Francisco game. Total freaking disaster. Okay, so, you know, the days of him rolling out of bed and coming out here and mauling people, those days are over. You know, he has serious ring rust. When he misses time and comes back, it's not the same Tyron Smith. You're looking at a former shell of himself. You know what I mean? So we'll see there. I think that's going to be a big issue for the Cowboys going this year. And like I said before, the offense is going to be the weak link of this team. Defensively, I think that you did a really good job in bringing Sam Williams here. I think he's going to be a steal for the Cowboys in the second round, and probably an upgrade over Randy Gregory, to be real. Because Randy Gregory, he showed splashes, but he was never consistent. He had all the offseason crap. You know, even when he last year was the most that we saw from him, and he got dinged up. You know what I mean? It was a calf here. It was this and that. So he just wasn't the most reliable player for the Cowboys. So I think Sam Williams looks like a better built, durable looking type of dude, man. This guy looks NFL ready, and you know, he's making splashes out here early on, and that's what you want to see. So defensively, I think they're going to pick up where they left off. Did they get better? It's going to depend on really, I think, on Sam Williams. I think that's a big key. If Sam Williams, you know, does well in the snaps and the opportunities that he gets, you know, who's to say that he can't give you 6 sacks like Randy Gregory's giving you? You know, at the minimum, you know, it's possible, you know, that he could give you that same type of production. If he gives you more, and you have another repeat year of Micah Parsons, then yeah, the defense got better. Okay, the big question mark is going to be your cornerbacks. Really, you know, is it going to be Anthony Brown? Probably. You know, fans don't want to hear that. You know, some fans were clamoring for Kelvin Joseph, but you know, he kind of crapped the bed here this offseason. You know, the commissioner's looking into suspensions, what kind of options they're going to do there with him, so he may not even be here. All right, so Cowboys have to be prepared to go with Anthony Brown again. I think for this next draft class in 2023, you're going to be looking at some cornerbacks here, you know, to shore that up. All right, and there's going to be some good ones. If you missed my 2023 early peek at the prospects, I'll have a link in this video, and you can check those out for some early names to keep an eye on for the Cowboys for next year, the draft class. But you know, lots of move for the Cowboys. You know, have they done enough? Do you have enough blue chip players on this roster? You know what I mean? Bucky Brooks did a really good job a few years ago is breaking down, you know, the requirements of a playoff championship type of roster. You need a couple of blue chip players. Do the Cowboys have them? And I think you definitely have one with Micah Parsons. You definitely have one with CeeDee Lamb. Those two are your blue chip players all the way. Trayvon Diggs on defense is another blue chip player for you there. Offensively, blue chip player, you know, Zach Martin. I mean, you're talking about the elite players. Those are blue chip guys. Do you have enough there? You know what I mean? So you need some of these other young guys to rise up and fill those gaps, and that's why there's always frustration with the Cowboys, because it's like you lose players, you bring players in, and your roster kind of stays the same. So I want to ask you guys out there: has this roster improved overall? Is it playoff worthy? Do you see this team getting to the playoffs? Do you see them holding off the NFC East teams, or do you think this is going to be a dogfight? All right. And by that, I mean the NFC is getting better. Cowboys, maybe with all the moves coming and going, maybe they kind of stay the same. You know what I mean? For them to improve, you need the younger players to step up to improve upon that. Okay? So we'll see what happens there with that. But, guys, let me know what you think. Do you think the Cowboys have done enough this offseason to be a playoff-worthy team? Is this roster ready for another run? Are we in for something else? Let me know what you guys think. Continue to like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you for the next one, guys. Peace.